uh, people reminded me. So I was wondering how are they knowing?
Yeah, we can say it's recording or not in our screen.
Okay. Good. Okay. Yeah. Now I see. There on top left, I can see.
Ah, yeah, it's
Right.
recording.
Okay. The morning, the other sessions, Angular sessions, and all. I was wondering. I like and C++ session, like nearly 15 minutes was done, and then they said it is not recorded. Later.
Okay.
Hmm. Anyways, good. So Java database connectivity is the process or it is the place where the Java starts its connection with the database. That is why it is called JDBC, Java data, D for data, B for base, and C for connectivity. So DB is database, J for Java, and connectivity. So as usually, I don't go into technical, so I'll start with the real world. So let us say there is a courier, and this is our house. So there is a courier which is coming in, and there is a house. So this courier has to talk with the house and deliver its content. It can be either pickup courier or a drop courier. Pickup in the case of exchange products, and drop in the case of a new product. So when the first step it is going to the first step in this process is the courier guy needs to identify the street. So identify the street and the house number where the courier is going to be delivered. So once he identifies the street and house number, he reaches the house. So then he reaches the house. After he reaches the house, he is going to knock and send a signal that he has come to deliver. So the person in the house, the person whoever is in the house, they are going to validate whether this guy is a real guy. We are going to see from our window whether this is a real guy or how is he looking, whether he is strange or not. If he is looking strange, we will not open the door. We just speak from inside. So we are going to validate whether this guy is a genuine guy or can he be trusted. So all those things. Then what happens? Collect the we collect and he delivers. After that, he gets a sign in the receipt. Then okay, before that, after we validate, then we open. Then we open the door. Then we open the door to collect it. Few times we don't open the lock. We just open the door and there is a grill behind, so that we are safe. So we don't open the complete door, so that we are safe in it. So this is a process in which a delivery is happening. Any delivery of any product will be happening. Of course, few of the steps might be skipped then and there, but this is a regular way. You can add and delete few steps if you want. So going once again, like reviewing the steps, this is going to be exactly the way Java is going to talk. That's why I usually take real world examples in all of my videos. I don't tell what is okay, what is the JDBC, this is how you have to create. That doesn't mean that doesn't help you in any way. So we first, the delivery guy has to identify the street and house number. He reaches the house, he knocks, or he sends a signal by calling the person. We validate before we open. We open the door, and a few times we don't open the complete door, we just open the, there is a reason for writing these things because these all link technically. And we just open the door, the grill is behind protecting us always, and we collect, and he delivers, and we sign in a receipt, and he leaves, and then we lock the door once again. So I can think of 9-step process. Now exactly the same thing if we start writing in technical terms. The first step is going to be identify the street and house. It is same as identify the DB server and the port number. So we have to identify where our database server is. So when a Java program, the delivery guy is the Java program and the receiver is the database. So when we are going to receive, first step is the Java program needs to identify where the database server is and what is the port number. So the database server location, the
Hey Rajesh.
location. Hi, yes, who's this?
Yeah, hi. This is Tanu. I just joined in the class. Can you please?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, welcome. So yes, so we are now trying to convert these steps, which is in the real world, to a steps in the actual technical terminology, how it is built. So identifying a server, identifying a street and a house number, that is the equivalent term in technical is identifying the DB server location and the port. When we say location, it is the IP address. IP address is the location for any server. So that is like we call it as name also. That is how we identify that a server. The IP will be unique. The public IP will be unique. And the port number is the port where the database. The port number is house number. Not only house number, we can also tell the door number. Let's say for a house, if we have 3 to 4 doors, he needs to know which is the main door from where he can enter in. All other doors might be locked. The same way, even though it might have a different ports in the server, one port will be the open port through which the data has to come in. So we have to, the Java program has to identify the DB server, the IP address of the server, the port number. He reaches the house, which means the program takes the request and reaches the server port outside of the port. Then he knocks and sends a signal. That is again here a signal. This is networking terminology. We'll not go deep into it. A signal is sent to server. A request signal is sent. Now this we validate. The same way, the database server will validate the username and password. So a database server will have an IP address, a port, a username, a password. So it is going to validate whether the username and password is correct or not. If the username or the password is wrong, it is not going to open the door. It is going to close the door and send back a error that you are not an authorized user. Next, the next step is open the door. So when if the username and passwords are valid, then the port will be opened. Port will be opened and access is allowed. Okay, next is don't open the lock, we just open the door, grill is behind. This is equivalent to, we saw yesterday the views and the firewalls. Views are read only mode where we cannot write anything, and the firewall protection, the security, all those security which is applied in the database layer, that can be called as the grill which is behind. If there is no security, it means you are opening the door. And if it is an attacker, even an attacker can come with a genuine username and password. If he knows the database, he can come and he can just hack the database. The same way, even if the person, we see that he is a valid, a genuine person, but who knows? If he is not a genuine person and we open the complete door, and anything might happen. The same way, it so we usually have a security layer. So we don't keep the database open. And next is collect and deliver. This is execution of DML statements, SP functions. We saw the DML statements: select, insert, update, delete, and the stored procedures, functions. Whatever we saw yesterday, all those will be executed in the 7. Signs in the receipt. The receipt which he is taking is the result set. If it is going to be a select query, then the result will be the columns whatever he has asked. If it is an update or delete, the result will be a success or failure flag. It depends on the database how these are. So, but these are not important because this you will get in documentation. Google is there. Syntax from day one. That's what I'm telling. Syntax you can get in Google, which I'm not going to teach you any new thing which is not there in Google. That is very sure. If you open up a Google and search for your issue, you will get thousands of answers immediately, but you will not get the concept like how it is working. So if you are more concerned on how it is working, then these videos will help you. Next is lock. So we close the port, the database close the port, and it is secure again. So this is how, this is an analogy of what happens in the real world, closely matched with what happens in the database. So I've tried to match it as closely as possible, bringing you the terminologies. Any questions so far?
No, Rajesh.
Okay. Good. So with this being clear, and I have the okay, so I have the database, everything ready. Let us go and create a new simple main application and try to connect with the database and see. That is our aim. So we will go to new Java project, JDBC example. It's my project. I'll give default location. I'm using JRE 1.8, JSC 1.8. Next. This is okay. JDBC, SRC, the output folder is in bin. Okay, finish, open perspective. So our program, our project is ready. Now we'll create one new class in it and go to SRC, right click, new class, and we'll give a main program or JDBC program. We'll do that, new class JDBC main program. I have to check this public static void main so that automatically it will be created. If I know how to create it, I will not check it. Instead, a plain class will be created without any content. I will just give main and control space. I'll do main and control space. The suggestion will come for main. I will select this. The main program is ready for me. I give a sysout system.out.println JDBC main program works. I will just right click, run as Java application. So Java application, JDBC main program works. So we have the main program ready. Now this concept I said you, a modification of this concept is correct. A slight modification or high level of this concept is what we do. Okay, what is happening? The mouse is duplicating. Okay, a slight high level modification in terms of pure technical, how this connectivity is going to happen. The first step we are going to do is we need to load the class, the driver class. I'll explain you what it is again. Okay, we'll have to load the driver class. Then we have to create connection using the server IP port, username, password. So once this is done, we have to create a statement, then send or execute the statement. We will be getting back a result, which is a signed receipt in our case. If it is going to be a pickup order like exchange order, he will come and request for an exchange product. We are going to retrieve and send back a product. And the result, use the result. This is not inside the logic. We can use it or not use it. That is up to us. So technically, these are the steps to create a JDBC and connect to the database. Now there are different data. I said like there are different databases in the market: MySQL, MS SQL, Teradata, Oracle. So there like this, there are many RDBMS and non-RDBMS, which we discussed like past 2 days. So to connect to the database, the first is loading the driver class. Driver class is nothing but the address which not the address, correct, the address which is shown to this particular person, okay, where the database is there. And this driver class depends on the database we are using. For MySQL it is a different driver, for MS SQL it is a different driver, Oracle it is a different. These are all provided by the respective database provider. So if you want to download the MySQL database driver, MySQL JDBC driver, if you go there, so MySQL connectivity, ODBC connectivity, this open database connectivity. So we'll go here and we have to download the jar file, driver jar Maven. I'll go to Maven and down, which is a repository. All the jars will be available in the Maven. Okay, MySQL community download, MySQL installation. I don't want installation. Oh, that was a connectivity. Okay, I'll go there. Connectivity jar. It is a JDBC type 4 driver. We'll see what is the type of a driver and later. If I go here, the jar is 2.3 MB and it is provided by Oracle Corporation, MySQL. So I'll go ahead and download this jar. and I will go here, projects. Okay, here it is. I'll keep this file. Okay, the download is ready. I'll put it here. Okay, so this jar is ready. This has internally many classes and all these steps. Whatever we saw here, like identify, request, signal. So all these things will be internally there. So we need to just reuse it. Once this is done, we have to configure it in the build path, which is there in like first few sessions 1 to 5. I showed you. Again, I'm showing you. We go to properties, we go to Java build path, we go to library, add external jar, and I copy this location, and this jar is there. I'll give it apply, apply, and close. Now, this jar will be available for me. Your reference library, I will get this jar. I can start using and I can start consuming the classes. If you can see, these are the different packages inside the jar, and these are the different classes inside the jar which I can use it. So I am interested in a class driver manager. Let me just spend some time here. Com MySQL. Okay, if I type here driver manager, it will show me. So driver manager, it is inside java.sql. So if I go to java. Java.sql.driver manager. Java.sql. Maybe it is internally available. Okay. No, com.mysql. com.mysql.jdbc. Here it is com.mysql.jdbc.driver. This is what I am interested. This is the driver. If I go inside, the source is protected. But if I go to the Java file, this is what will be connecting to the MySQL. So I need to use this class. So the first step is we have to use class dot for name of the class. So which class I am interested in? com.mysql.jdbc.driver. So that is the class. So I'll tell com.mysql.jdbc.driver. So okay, so this is going to throw an exception. We saw a complete different a set of classes on the exceptions handling. So I'm going to just add as throw. I will run it now. Okay. Driver, I have to go R. Okay, so you can see here loading class com MySQL JDBC driver. This is deprecated. It is telling you have to use the new driver class. The driver is automatically registered via SPI, and manual loading of the driver class is generally unnecessary. Yeah, just for understanding purpose, I am showing you manual loading. Otherwise, in Spring application, it will be automatically registered. But for now, we'll go with this. So this is the first step. Step 1, class dot for name, the driver class name. com dot, it is inside com. MySQL is the package, JDBC is a package, and driver is the class name. So this is done. The program is running without any error. So we proceed with the second step. The second step is you have to get a connection. Get connection to the actual database. So driver manager, we have the driver manager which is there in the java.sql, which is inside this, which is there with the Java itself. So driver manager, if you see here, there is a method driver manager dot get connection. There is a method as get connection. It is accepting string and the properties. So what we will do, it is, there is also overridden method URL, username and password. This get connection is going to accept 3 parameters. So I'll call driver manager dot get connection of the URL. The URL, okay, the URL will be jdbc colon mysql colon / server IP colon server port / schema. This is the standard format. So I have to give here jdbc colon mysql colon / for this I need the file. At the start of the session I open this. Here this is my server address, remote mysql.com and colon, it is running in 3306.
So, Rajesh, how do you get that server address?
This
Because
is,
I missed.
you have to install a server. You have to download a, for demo purpose I have a server. You can go to MySQL and the community edition. MySQL server web community, and there is an installer. Here it is, MySQL installer for Windows. You can download either 32-bit MSI 86 installer. Okay, this is web community. This is installer. This one you have to take. This is 435 MB. You have to download and install, then your server will be ready.
What if we have 64-bit?
This is okay, 32-bit. We have to find out. There is no. I think 32-bit will work in 64, right? 64 is an high end of the 32-bit,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Default the application, because I've installed this in most of the 64-bit machines.
Okay.
It does not,
So
yeah.
if we install that,
This you will get this. The address will be localhost.
okay.
It will ask you to create a database.
Okay.
It will ask you for it. Will, when you install, it will prompt for a password. You have to give a
Okay.
password. You have to give a username, and then you have to
Okay.
give a database name. So you can get these details.
Database name and username can be anything, right?
Database and name. I'm sorry.
Database and username can be anything, right?
Anything. The default username which comes with is a root. Beyond that, you can create as many users as you want. You can create any name.
Okay. So if we install that, the page will, in the notepad, we can see all those details, right?
Yes. Actually, Notepad, you have to just collect and paste it. For the session I collected
Okay.
and
Okay.
yeah. During installation, you will be providing these details, which you have to just store it safely.
Okay.
Okay, so then what I am using, remote MySQL 3360 username. Okay, what is the DB name? Schema name is HSL. This is the schema name. So after
Rajesh, what is
3306,
the schema? because I missed this week class. Due to
I'm sorry.
fever. What is a schema? What do you tell about schema?
This
Here?
this data. This is a schema. The database is a schema.
Okay. This is
This
the
is a
SQL, right?
database server. Under this is MySQL.
MySQL. Okay.
But it is same. It is same everywhere. In SQL, Oracle, Teradata, it is same.
So because
Data
I missed this. Oh, I missed this whole week class due to fever.
I didn't hear you properly. I'm not able to listen. Can you repeat that?
Okay. Yeah, I missed the last week, this week classes, whole week classes because today I was attending.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Okay. Actually, the schemas are the actual physical. No, not physical. The logical collection of tables, stored procedures, all these things. So
Okay.
you can consider this as a database, but originally one database server can have multiple schemas, which is collection of tables, views, stored
Okay.
procedures, functions.
So this is a file name, right? That means we should give that name, right?
This is not a file name. This is like when you create when you create a database, it will ask you a name. What is the name
Okay.
you want? Under
Okay.
this database, you will create all the tables.
Okay.
Okay, so we gave this. After this, I have to give a username. The username is going to be same. In this case, I have the same setup, and the password is 3B. This is the password. Okay, so I have this given. This is going to throw an error. Handle the exception. Add throws. For now, I'll just handle everything. Okay, so let's see whether it is giving any error. Just trying something. Okay, the program terminated, no error. So which means it is able to get a connection. Okay, whether what is get connection returning? It is returning me a connection object. This is the method. This is the method name. These are the arguments, and this is the package name and class name inside which this method is available. And the first is the return type of the method. So it is returning me a connection. What connection? Java.sql.connection. So let me get and hold whatever it is returning. So if I go connection, java.sql.connection, that's an interface. So I said in left side should be interface, right side should be the implementation class. If you go into driver manager, this will be the class which will be implementing the interface. No, actually, this is returning an interface, not an issue. So this is going to return a connection object. I am just holding the connection. I'll print and see whether I get a connection. System.out.println. Sysout connection. The object should be obj for this is a standard naming convention. So obj, right. So when I execute this, okay, it is trying to. Okay, super. We got a connection object. Let us give a breakpoint and debug this and actually see what is coming inside this connection object. Okay, so I'll go open the perspective. I go to connection object. I can see, okay, database name. I can see the isolation. These are all technical details. Open statements. Password is there. Read only is false, which means I can read. Read only true means I can only read. Read only false means I can do a write operation. This is the username. Okay. from here I should be getting the statement. Do I have a statement? STMP. No. Okay, so this is good. I'm getting some details about the database. The next step 3. Step 3 is oh, hold on one second. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, so step 3 is create statement. Using this connection, what is the statement we saw yesterday? Or let the simple statement is select star from T001 users. I hope that's a table name. Okay, so T001 user. If I run this in the UI, which is a client, database client, I get around 9 rows. You have to get them same 9 rows when I try to hit from a Java program. So the statement which I'm going to run is select star from user. So this is the statement. Next, so now I have to do the step number 3. To create a statement, I have to use the connection object. So connection object dot create statement. That's a method. There are lots of methods you can try it out. Create statement, if you see here, it is going to return a statement. So I'll call this and I have to assign as a statement. Java.sql.statement, we have a statement object. Now inside this statement object, using the statement object, we will send the statement, whatever statement we want to execute. The statement which we want to execute is select query. So statement dot execute query, and the input is a string which is a SQL. So the doc says execute the given SQL statement which returns a single result set object. Note, this method cannot be called on a prepared statement or callable statement. We'll see what prepared and callable statements are later. So the parameter is a SQL, an SQL statement which needs to be sent to the database, typically a static SQL statement. The word static, why they are telling is we'll be fixing the query. We won't be dynamically changing. It is a inside the statement, you cannot change the query. It has to be a fixed query which is outside the statement. That's why they tell the static. Returns. What does it return? A result set object that contains the data produced by the given query. What is the data produced by the query? These 9 records. So these 9 records are going to be returned from the statement. That is what the documentation is. Once again, I'll go to the doc. Java.execute query returns a result set, never null. Okay, throws a SQL exception. If the database error happened, we are going to get an SQL exception or a timeout exception when the timeout was specified by the query, which means sometime what will happen is the Java program will send the statement, but the database might be hanged or it might not return result for long time. In that case, it is going to return like timeout exception. We'll be specifying a timeout like you have to wait only for 5 seconds. If you don't get a result, then come back. Let's say the delivery boy, he is going to wait for like couple of minutes, right? until you open the door. If you are not going to open the door, he is going to return back. That is what the timeout exception is. So we'll include here also so that so the exception scenario is the delivery guy will wait for few minutes for answer. If not answered, will be returning back. The same way, the statement is going to wait for few minutes. If not replied, will throw timeout exception. All right. Increase this, increase this. Super. So we have done this. Okay, statement dot execute query. What's our query? Here it is. I will give the query as string buffer. There's a reason for it. I can use string itself, but I use string buffer. The select user query equal to, this is the query. So this has to be a string buffer. So I cannot declare it just like that. It has to be new string buffer of a string input. Okay, now I can pass string inside, but it is a string buffer. So I have to do dot to string. Dot to string. S should be caps. Okay, super. So I have this done. There is no error so far. Okay. Next is when I am going to execute the query, what is the result? The documentation says executes the given SQL statement which returns a single result set object. This method cannot be called on a prepared statement. Okay, this we saw. Okay, I think this we saw already. So I need to capture the result set as a return. So which I will capture result set. I have to use from java.sql. Just remember this because many of the different classes will provide different implementation of this, and there may not be few methods which you are looking for inside it. So always focus on the input. What happens is usually if I delete this, the first suggestion will not be the suggestion which I am expecting. Now it is coming. Previously it was not. It was at the bottom. I had to scroll, and now the Eclipse is remembering and giving me Java SQL as first. Earlier mysql.c was coming. So the same result set is there in multiple jar files, multiple classes, not classes, multiple packages. So you need to know which one to be imported for better results. That you will understand as you practice more. So far we have done. We have so execute query. We are sending the actual query to them, and they receive that and they execute it and they return back and by signing. This is the signed receipt. So let us see whether we are getting this first. Execute. Super, we got a result set also. Now let us debug and see what is there in the result set. I give F6. Where is my code? Okay, this stop here. F6, 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 F6. We got a result set. Let's try to open the result set and see. Okay. Current row is -1. Fetch size 0. Fetch direction. Okay. Update count. Okay. It doesn't really show any. Okay, there is a row data, but it doesn't really show any value for S. There should be a next. Let's open this row data. Rows. We have these. We have got some 9 rows here. This is the first row. What is in the first row? False. Second row, internal row data. Some IDs have come. 49, 115. Okay. If I expand value recorder. Okay. Let us leave it for now, but something is coming which we are not able to understand. But those 9 rows should be coming in. Let us try to print it in the human readable format. So what we have to do is we studied about the for loops. The same way to extract from a result set, we use something as iterator. So while the result set dot next, which means if the result set is having a record, if it is having a next record, actually it is not rs result set. If I go to documentation, okay, what is while capital S result set dot next. See the documentation. Move the cursor forward 1 row from its current position. A result set cursor is initially positioned before the first row. That is why we saw -1 in the result set current row. The first call to the method next makes the first row the current row. The second call makes the second row the current row. So when we call next, the result set will be into the first row. Now we have to extract this out result set dot get string of column index. I want to get the first column. Now result set dot get string of second column. Let's try with this and see. There is an extra. Okay, so we'll execute it. So see here it is print 1 till 10. Username is Sunday till Thursday 2. We got everything. Whatever we were executing in this MySQL UI, we are able to hit through the Java program and retrieve the result and display it. I can also add the third value. Instead of doing like this, what I will do, I will assign it to a variable. What is the first value? It is user ID. String user ID equal to get string of this. Second is string username equal to set of this. Now the third variable string. What is the third variable? Active is active equal to result set dot get string of 3. Now I can print this out. User ID plus 1 space plus username plus 1 space plus space plus is active. If you don't follow anywhere, please stop it. Otherwise, I'm just assuming that you are following it. Okay. That is why I'm going step by step. This is very important concept. This is your base. This is your fundamental for understanding how Java and database connects. This is how it was used like 15 years back. After that, things have changed. Hibernate came. Various things have come like Spring. We have JPA, but the fundamental never changes. As I keep on telling you, the motor remains the same. If the motor functionality of a motor has not changed, the armature, the way the current is taken, the way the motor rotates, it has not changed. The only thing which has changed is the outer structure. Any car which is launched, the fundamental motor has changed. They just tweak the performance, torque, all those things. The same way, this is your fundamental. You have to be very strong. That's why I'm going step by step in a very slow manner. I'm going step by step. So once we execute this, we should see exactly whatever is there in the database. Okay, see here. If I open the database side by side, we have everything as it is. Sunday active, Monday 1, Tuesday 1, Friday and Saturday zeros, Thursday, Friday zeros, sorry, Saturday, Sunday. Thursday too, there is a null. You don't have an ID, so it is null. Is this clear? Any questions so far?
No, Rajesh.
Okay. So I just go through once again what we did today. With this, we'll pause for today. So we are trying to connect from Java to database. The first step is like if you have missed earlier, please follow it now. These 2 minutes I'll go through quickly. So the first step is we load the driver. We load the driver, that is class dot for name. Second, after loading the driver, we try to get a connection. We pass the URL. This is a standard JDBC standard. MySQL is standard. Server IP and port dynamic and schema name and username, password. Then we get the connection object. From the connection, we create a statement. Using the statement, we send out the query which we want to send. That is the statement. Once we execute the query, we get the result set. Using the result set, we iterate and we take out the data and we print it. This is the fundamental of how any program, not only Java, PHP, .NET, whatever you take, it will connect to a database in the same way. The terminology might differ, the driver might differ, but otherwise the concept is very same. This logic, whichever I said you, the analogy, this is going to be same in all the languages. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can ask now. Otherwise, we'll pause for today. We'll meet again on Monday morning.
Yeah, Rajesh, this week I missed the classes, like 4 to 5 classes due to fever. So
Okay.
where can I get the videos?
Yes, please. Actually, can you contact like Kalpana on this?
Kalpana, okay, I'll contact. No
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay. She
Sure.
will be able to help you out on this.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So we'll meet again Monday morning. The next week we are going to take this through like how we can do an update query, what is prepared statement, what is a callable statement. So all those things we'll see. Then we'll be proceeding with the Hibernate. That we'll be dealing in the next week. Okay.
Yeah, Rajesh.
Yeah. Okay then. So thank you for joining today. We'll meet again Monday morning. Bye.